Previously on Via Non Capta.
So here we are again. This time we're going to be jumping into episode 4. So last time was an in-between episode. So at the end of our, whenever we ended, like April, the last time was like a big mission that we were like concluded everything and we had kind of wrapped up and done like milestones. So I was going to move on and just start episode 4, but then what we ended up doing was doing like an in-between thing. So in that episode, I didn't negate all of the momentum, and we picked up with our hat doing a security investigation into the chef, into the kitchen, into his quarters, and basically summarizing all of it. Our hat discovered that none of his staff was involved, but somebody still was getting computer access to the ship, and so therefore it either had to be perhaps a civilian, because they are not as they're not as screened as much. So just that fact, they don't have as much security screening as others because they're not usually in critical areas. So it could be another case where a civilian is making issues, or if it's somebody who has access to the computer, the only other people who have direct access that deep that are outside of security are science officers. Have those who work with the computer have more clearance and access to it than normal. So those were the two groups of people assumed to be working with the chef, because it just indicates there's a lot more going on than one person could get away with. It would be hard pressed to believe that the chef was doing everything solely by himself. So he continued that. That's what it boiled down to. Harper had a staff meeting and showed everybody the pad that Arhat found in the chef's quarters. And when Lozesh saw it, his memories came back from seeing it. He to the players, but not to the characters, he learned a secret bit of information privately about the pad that nobody knows. And then Starfleet intelligence contacted the Drake, and that officer, the Starfleet intelligence officer, was Malcolm Reed, the security officer from Star Trek Enterprise, the television series. And he told Harper to hand over the pad to people he will have on Starbase 2. And that if there were copies made, to delete the copies. With Lozesh seeing Malcolm, he had another boost to his memory. And with that, enough memory had been recalled after several rolls of how to heal his temporal wound. So he rushed down to sickbay, explained it to Dr. House. Dr. House understood. He did a procedure, and Lozesh successfully regained all of his memories. He no longer has memory issues. And he tells Dr. House that he remembers that a Nakul agent from his time, from a time in the future of this, was sent back to assassinate an individual called Timothy April, who is about a 3 or 4-year-old, who will be the father of Robert April, who constructs the Constitution class line of ships, which the Constitution class is the Captain Kirk era type ship. It's called the Constitution class. So he's trying to essentially cut the lineage so that type of thing either is delayed, doesn't happen at all, and obviously make a huge change in the construction and like forming together of Star Trek and the Federation as it is in like the 23rd century. And the reason why the Nakul agent was a Zindi, I think arboreal or a primate, I don't remember which one I said, but why he was a Zindi looking character was because he has a hollow emitter that allows him to have the appearance of anyone. So he relays that all to House. And that's kind of just where we ended it. So that's why it was like an in-between. And everybody was still in orbit of Kate. They hadn't left because this was all happening like pretty much the next morning. So now the Drake is now headed back to Starbase 2 to hand over the chef to security there on Starbase 2 and to turn over the pad to the officers that Starfleet Intelligence is putting on is there on at Starbase 2 to collect it. So that's where we're at right now. So you're going to start heading back to Starbase 2. The other thing I failed to mention was I kind of like game master to Mike told him to not like stop, but basically gave him security insight that to keep pushing to find the second person. You might want to slow down and let things kind of cool off. Otherwise, the person might get kind of scared and you may kind of the trail may go cold, or it may become a lot harder to discover who the person is. So in order to kind of, I think I did it as Sondon in character. I don't think I did a full like, hey, Mike, don't do this thing. I think I did it as Sondon as like, hey, maybe we should cool our jets so that this guy slips up and we naturally find him, or give him a chance to kind of show his hand rather than dig in. Okay, so the Klingons left the area. They're no longer on sensors. And the journey back to Starbase 2 has begun. Arriving at Starbase 2, it's now been a few days. Who is who's going to get on to Starbase 2? Like anybody particularly like want to get on to Starbase 2? Otherwise, I'll just assign people to go on to Starbase 2.
I could refill medical supplies while I'm here.
Okay.
I don't think I would get on unless I needed to, but I would probably send a message about the rogue that I never got.
Okay. Yeah. So that ship is still on its way. It's not quite here yet. It'll be here in a couple days.
Okay.
Most likely I might get like just on, get everybody set up, but unless I have something to do.
Okay. Yeah, basically either the captain or you, the commander, would be turning the pad over to the officers.
Okay.
So it's up to you guys who wants to be the person to do that. Doesn't matter.
And say if the captain doesn't want to do it, I have no problem doing it.
Yeah, it's probably a security matter.
Okay.
Sounds good. As you disembark onto Starbase 2, you Sova gets a report back that the USS Varen is soon to arrive, not too far off. They are about a week away. So that's what you get in reply to when supplies and your robe will be in transit there, probably a little over a week, 8 or 9 days. And you, House, you meet up with Dr. Ray and Phlox and basically put together more supplies, kind of refill some things that you, in the small amount of time that you may have gone low on. So the our hat departs, and he goes, and waiting for him in the pretty much right as you get off the what do you call it, like the like where the port, where the two ships like connect to each other, you end up seeing these two officers standing, a female officer and a male officer, and they immediately go right. They know who you are, and they go right over to you. So they come across and they say, Commander, we know that we believe you have the pad for us that Commodore Reed has requested us to receive.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I have it right here.
thank you. They take it and they look it over and they say, did Commodore Reed mention anything about this pad to you?
Just that he wanted it given off and any copies destroyed. That's all I was told about it.
Interesting. It doesn't look like what I would expect it to look like, but that's okay. Well, Commander, we appreciate this, and if you have any more weird run-ins or interesting things happen, you can always report back to Starbase 2. Chief Gannon here has an office, and I make the runs back and forth between here and another transport on between Earth and here. So
Understood.
you can always come here with any more information or any more things that you happen to find.
Okay.
Thank you, Commander.
You're welcome.
So they break away. They go back into basically the security wing of the Starbase. So the Drake security teams and the Starbase security teams pass the chef from the Drake to the Starbase, and the USS Varen that is on its way to the Starbase in a little over a week is going to collect him and then return him to Earth, where he's going to have a tribunal and he's going to stand before a court of law. In the few days that you're here at the Starbase, Captain Knightley meets with Admiral Foxwell, and the Admiral, despite everything against her feeling that the Drake should go back out, because now the Drake is kind of compromised, she doesn't really have too much of a choice, because the Talarians are still making problems out there for civilians and other local colonies. And your report of the Klingons interacting with the Kathians, she doesn't like that, because that means that the Klingons are out there also trying to garner favor with species out here, and perhaps trying to make footholds also out here. And while it's not necessarily a bad thing to share space with the Klingons, there has been talks in the backgrounds that the Klingons are not just doing what the Federation is doing, which is trying to find more people to essentially spread the love and like have a good time, and let's all build off of things together and build a nice big organization government. they're discovering that the Klingons are really pretty much invading places and turning these places into slave labor and mining the planets for their purposes, whether it's resources, whether it's strategic locations where they're making ships. So though there's been no necessarily aggressive action towards the Federation, it's clear that if the Federation just kind of stands back and just doesn't do anything, this will very easily become Klingon space. And there's too many people that you're interacting with that you can see here on Starbase 2 that would not benefit from being under the thumb of the Klingon Empire. So the Federation wants to basically, give these folks like the Kathians a choice to choose, but let's give them at least something else to look forward to. Otherwise, the Klingons are just going to probably take the planet. Her hands are kind of tied, and she tells Harper tells Knightley, sorry, that basically, try, just do your best. There's no concrete evidence that there is another traitor, another individual on the Drake who is making problems, but it seems likely. So it's another one of those things where they, like when they let Jahan on, it's like everything on paper points to you probably shouldn't put him back on the ship because it's kind of weird to do that to him psychologically, but also maybe not the wisest decision since he's the sole survivor. But at the same time, when you go through all the work and you go through all the effort, and there's no tangible reason to not let him back aboard, it's like, what do you do? So that's kind of where the Drake is at, is that you kind of have to go back out there. Now, the Varen that's coming in 8 days, you could take the chef back to the Earth and let's hammer it out there. But the Varen isn't equipped to be a ship that can be a multi-purpose vehicle. It is basically a science ship that has some extra cargo holdover. So if you run into some Klingons or something else, or the Talarians, the Varen is not going to hold its own. It couldn't really make a show to adequately defend the Federation's presence. Like it doesn't have a strong presence. So the Drake is to be sent back out and to forge ahead into the unknown. And that's where we're going to get into when Harper reads her captain's star log.
Captain Starlog, December 16th, 2173. After handing over Orlac Vinar to Starfleet Security, Admiral Foxwell has commissioned the Drake to continue its exploration of the sectors west of the starbase. While myself and my crew welcome the sights of strange new worlds and new civilizations, I cannot ignore the betrayal of Mr. Vinar. It is not the dishonesty that troubles me, but the fact that he couldn't have been working alone. Commander Arhat informs me that if the second traitor isn't another civilian, they are someone who has access to the computer core.
I will take a chance to be who I'm meant to be. I won't let fear keep me from trying. It's time for me to make a change, to start living the life I want. I'm gonna reach for the sky, way up high. I'm never giving up. It's up to me to see who I can be, make dreams reality. I'm never giving up. I'm never giving up. I'm never giving up.
that is where we are. So the Drake makes its journey west. And you begin a new path.
Do we have a new chef?
Good question. Yes, you do. It is a science officer who now is doing dual roles, because they didn't have an extra chef on the starbase. So until they get, and they don't have one coming on the Varen, so until that gets worked out, it's going to be. His name is Christopher Beckett. He's a human, and he'll be the new cook. He'll kind of be playing double duty.
Does he understand how to make things plain?
You would feel, Silva would feel that this chef will not give you as much problems. Let's put it that way.
Don't take your eyes off this cook.
Yeah, really.
They didn't plan on it.
Good, because I'll never trust another chef as long as I live.
Me either, my dude.
So let's have Mike roll for the ship. Let's have Mike roll science and sensors, and we'll have Andrew roll science and insight. Difficulty 0.
I got a 2.
2.
I was looking
Am I
at
rolling-
science.
Am I rolling 2 or 1 dice?
2
Yep.
dice.
I was rolling for the ship.
So Mike
Science is a 3, so we got 2.
I got 1 and a 20.
Uh-oh.
It's a 12 and a 20, so I got a 1 success and a problem.
Okay, so I will bank that problem.
Uh-oh.
So how many momentum did we just get?
3.
It was
Well-
difficulty 0, so you got as many successes as you got is how much momentum you got.
Okay.
Okay, so on Sova's sensors, he has he sees a ship adrift, and he sees no crew nor the power being, like no power on, and it is equipped with a similar engine to that of Earth's first warp ships. So it's like a century-old warp technology-esque ship. Obviously, it's not an Earth ship, but you can tell that its engines are similar to that.
Is there anything in the area that we need to be wary of?
Nope, it is just literally out in the middle of.
You want
Space.
ketchup on your eggs?
Can we do like a sensor scan of the area to see if there's any kind of strange like gas or anomalies or anything like that?
Yeah. So let's have John roll for the ship science sensors, and we'll have Andrew roll again for science insight. So 1 d20 for John, 2 for Andrew.
I'm scanning for radioactivity
You're scanning for any phenomenon, so radioactivity would be.
because I have focus in radioactivity, so I was just checking.
That's fine. Yep.
So I got 1 failure and 2 successes because I could use the focus.
Okay.
I got an 18 and I forgot what I was rolling for.
Science and sensors for the ship. I can't imagine you probably didn't.
Yeah, I feel like that's the
It's a 10 for the ship.
So it's a difficulty 1, so you got 1 success, Andrew, or 2?
I got two successes because I rolled a 3 and a 17.
Okay, so you got one momentum. So it is not the area around the Drake and around the vessel that you can see. It's not necessarily like boring because space is cool, but there's not really much of anything around it. It's pretty much just open. There's background radiation that's in space, normal things that you would expect to find on readings.
Okay. So in our scan of the ship, is there like is their power like completely off, or are they like, do they have any life support running? Like what's
You'd have to get closer to run a more in-depth scan of the ship. It's on long range sensors as this show.
Okay.
So we can't even see it then.
Yeah, he can just see that there's like a blip. He can see it's a ship, and he can see that there's no life signs and there's no power. That's really all, and what type of engine it is. But other than that, you don't know it. You don't know. You can't like see exactly what the ship looks like.
Okay, well let's cautiously roll in. Hold up.
Okay.
We're gonna square up to these boats
Square up.
cautiously.
So when you get closer to the ship, you can see that it is a bulky back, like the aft end of the ship is very bulky and very kind of like if you want to be silly, like basically a package of like Oreos, like a big rectangle thing, and then it has like a pointy front where like clearly this is perhaps where the bridge is, or where at least the main kind of basically where the bridge is, and then the rest is like a very rectangular shape. It's very, very reminiscent of cargo ships of this era, but it's built a little more chunky, and it's a little more wider than, it's not like what do they call it, streamlined, as the cargo ships are kind of like narrow and straight. This is more kind of broad.
Do I have anyone on the bridge that it has like a starship like skill or whatever, like
Identifying starships?
Yeah.
I don't know who everybody's focus is, but you have Arhat, Sova, Jahan, and Lozash on the bridge.
Do any of you
Isaac
have any
grew up.
Can I
Isaac
ask
grew
a
up on a star
question?
base.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right, Isaac. That's right.
So my question would be, is there any phaser fire marks on
okay.
the
I understand.
on the ship?
You'd have to do like a big scan of the ship to know that, but that's a good question.
Okay, so Isaac is on the bridge or no?
No, he's in engineering.
Get him up here. And then I hit the button and I say, Isaac Clark to the bridge, please, or whatever I'm supposed to call him, Lieutenant. No, what's his he? Ensign. It's been a while.
Ensign Clark?
Yeah, Ensign Clark to the bridge.
Okay.
Okay.
Ensign Clark reporting for duty.
Wow, that was
Get up
quick.
here, Lieutenant.
Yeah.
Or
He just waits
somebody
outside the
call him.
turbo lift.
For me to call him.
Okay, what do you want to ask Ensign Clark?
So Ensign Clark, you see
Yes.
this thing? You see this thing over here?
Yes, I do.
Do you recognize it?
Not at all.
No.
I couldn't resist.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What game master? What do you think? 'Cause-
So let's have you roll.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Hey. Let's have you roll a con insight.
Yes, of course. For Clark.
It's gonna be difficulty 2.
Remember, he has a back burner thing that he's holding on to as well. So he's going to cause an issue here.
What did you say, Will? Control and insight?
No, con, CON.
Yeah. Con and insight.
Yes.
Insight. So I need an 11.
Okay.
It was nothing.
You need 2 11s.
I need 2 11s. Yes. That's
You have a
doable.
bunch of momentum if you want to use one.
I might swing back around. I'm looking at my talents or focuses to see. Yeah. I rolled
You're
2
doing great.
17s.
Perfect.
Good job.
You're welcome.
So
Captain, I have never seen that ship before in my life.
So
Oh,
Clark basically says that,
okay.
and that, you know, he has like an idea. He can tell that it's probably a cargo ship, but other than that, he doesn't really know.
So what I'm wondering is if it's like a standard like cargo ship of like some sort of species, and then it's
Mhm.
been like modified. Obviously, like it's not like a standard, like it's obviously been modified of some kind. But do these parts like are we dealing with like junkyard kind of people, like they just find scraps and slap them on their on their ship, or is this more of like a sleek kind of upgrade? Like can Clark tell that at all, or like anybody, or no?
If you
Have
Think
we
that would help.
have we done an up close scan of the ship?
no,
So yeah, I was just trying to like get this bit,
can
like
you,
first initial look, you know what I'm saying, and then we'll start scanning.
so Adri, roll command presence, difficulty 2.
I have 2 successes.
Okay, 2 successes. So basically what I allow is you pose this question to him, and with you pretty much coaxing out of him, even though he doesn't know anything about the ship, you kind of poke and prod at him enough that he can make educated guesses that the ship is a cargo. He feels strongly that the ship is a cargo ship, and that it's maybe some sort of experimental ship or something. Maybe it's perhaps the first of this type of vessel, since the engine type is similar to Zephyr and Cochrane's original engine. He can kind of hypothesize that perhaps this is like a first of its type as well.
Okay. All right. Now I would like Mr. Silva to run a scan of the ship again, like looking for life signs, looking for any power or weapons, or is life support on?
Yep. So let's have Caleb roll for the ship, security sensors, and have well, either do you, Andrew, or do you want to come up with a good way to pass it off? It's going to be con insight. So either you can come up with a colorful way to pass it to somebody who has a better number, or you can try rolling that. It's going to be difficulty 1.
I have a 12 and I have a reroll that I could use. So I have it. Still in decent shape.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a try.
All right.
I rolled a 6 for the ship.
I rolled a 4 and a 15. That's I 1 success.
Okay, so 2 successes.
Yeah, mine was the ship was a success. Yeah.
Okay, so 2. So we got one more.
One momentum. Yep. So this is what comes up on from the scan. The vessel is laid out as the thin small part that is the bridge, and then we break down the rectangle. And if you do it like boxes up at the top, like this box sticks like this, so break it into a 3x4 box. It's a sick bay, followed by 2 cargo holds, a corridor, another cargo hold, engineering, or where the engines are, sleeping quarters, or residence, another corridor, and a mess hall, like where food in a kitchen would be. That's the layout of the ship. Sova can ascertain by the number of quarters that the crew complement should be 5 individuals,
Okay.
and that the development of the warp technology is by an unknown species. It does not match anything in the Federation database.
Okay.
So
What
how about life support?
No, there's no life support. There's nobody on. There's no life signs on the ship. There are no markings as if it was attacked. You can just recently see that a few. It's hard to estimate, but it's been a while since the engines have been activated.
Okay.
Like how long?
Days.
Like days or years?
Probably closer to a week or two.
And what about weapon signatures or weapon power?
No marks,
weapons?
and they have no weapons.
Okay. What about like warp signature? Like, can we find like I'm looking for like breadcrumbs, essentially.
So like basically you're trying to look at what the warp signature is and like, are there warp signatures around the ship?
Yeah, like did somebody come and like do something and run? Or is there another warp signature besides that ship?
No.
How about any beaming technology that we can detect?
If there was, it's inconclusive. There's nothing
Okay.
there's no recent activity, but it doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
Do I recognize this ship? Will?
No.
Okay.
And they weren't, how did we just came across it on the sensors? It wasn't running like a distress call?
No. No,
Okay.
Sova sensors just saw something out there. It was just like, what's that? It's clearly not like an asteroid or something just out and about. It's clearly like a weird thing that shouldn't be in space. And he could determine it was a ship from long range.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's like kind of like looking out in the ocean and you see like a buoy or like a ship, but you don't know what it is until you get closer.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for nothing, Sova.
Poor Sova. So I guess I'll turn to my crew and I'll say suggestion.
Fire when ready.
Two.
Wow.
Can we tell if
go
there's
about our
anything over
business?
there worth checking out?
You think we should go over there? Let's ask that question.
Yep.
Yeah. If Clark is still on the bridge, I would say we should get closer and look for I forget who said it earlier, but that was a good idea. Getting closer and looking for like laser fire, blast markings, or
So
if
that's
there's
what
a
that
hole,
scan,
if there's a breach.
yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
that
what we-
scan that Sova made showed that there was no weapons fire on it.
Yeah, but we all know Sova's computers are junk.
Yeah.
So
Unless
we should
he's
really
wearing a
use our-
pink, unless he's wearing his pink bathrobe, I don't think I can trust him.
He's so empowered, right?
He's got his Barbie bathrobe on.
Ooh,
Oh no, here we go with the Barbie joke.
I'm in my
I still-
Barbie era.
I still think we should get close and look at it with our eyeballs.
Well, because here's the thing, like,
Can we see the crew through the windows?
there
You
was
have to
no
get really close to look in the window.
Yeah.
If they're alive?
Well,
To get
there was no
really,
light
really
signs.
close.
I just want to see if there's a giant hole in the side of the ship. Like that would pretty much solve all of our questions.
Yeah, or they may have taken a shower in the freezing temperatures.
True.
Where were we headed before stumbling upon this?
Just in this general direction.
So, I mean, do we have to, check every parked car we come across?
That's-
Parked car.
That's what I'm trying to decide. Exactly. Do we
There's no
just go
foul
about it?
play or anything, you know.
That's not your fault,
So-
sir.
The only caveat to that, the only small caveat to that is it's weird that there's nobody on the ship. Like there's not a planet, there's not a moon, there's nothing here for this person to be elsewhere. Or these people, because there's 5. That's all. That's the only caveat to it.
He's in
That's
the
kinda
wrong parking spot.
Do we think it's a trap?
That's a trap.
The other
Isn't
question
that stuff?
is,
Isn't that
if we're gonna go to the ship, what would be the best way to do it? Are we gonna drive our ship right over next to it? Are
Yeah.
we gonna take a shuttlecraft? Are we gonna beam over?
Space jump.
If
How's
we
the
decide to go
interference?
over there, how are we doing this?
Yeah. How is the interference in the atmosphere? Like, could we beam over safely?
There's nothing.
Send
Well,
our
I
least
hope
favorite
for a
crewmate.
beam. Yeah. Right. Milek, you're up.
wow?
Poor man.
Yeah, he's the one that does all the cleanup anyway. So
Yeah, poor
Right.
dude.
Hmm. He's
Well,
drunk anyway. You can't send him there.
well, he might
um,
see things that we don't. So might as well be a good choice.
I'm torn between like John says, like, do we really need to like,
Isn't that not to get all like, but isn't that like Starfleet? Isn't that like our job
yeah.
to
Pretty much.
investigate? Yeah.
Space Karens.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, kind of. Like,
Wow.
That's how I looked at him. Yeah.
I mean, in the show, it's really funny because it's like we're here to help people, and they always inevitably make things worse.
And we have a Karen in charge here, so might as well.
Oh, got her.
With you.
Got her.
Oh dear.
All right. Well, let me talk to our hat. And so is there any sense in beaming a couple people over there? Do we need to check this out?
The only thing about it is it's kind of strange to have a random ship in the middle of nowhere.
I agree. And if there's dead bodies in there, it would be nice to be able to have their family know that we found them.
Right. Notify. Yeah.
Clark, you can go back to the engine room anytime now.
What if they're sleeping like the space seed? Do you really want to open that up? I mean, come on.
What if they're in cryostasis?
Because
All
there's no life support over there, whoever goes over would have to wear the full suit. And at most, it would be a quick check, see what's going on, maybe get some information, and then come back. That's basically what this would be.
I definitely think the chief engineer should go.
All right, so how about I do this? Let's send Commander Arhat. I do agree Lieutenant Jahan should go.
Benson, I think it's time you go back to the engine room.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I stayed my weapon.
Not sure who let you onto the bridge.
I'm sorry, Jahan. Karen's has spoken.
And let's also send the doctor, just in case.
Oh
no.
Man.
That's the worst choice I've ever heard all day.
Wow.
Okay, do you have a nurse you want to send instead? I don't care.
Absolutely.
Send her, I don't care. Or him.
Not now, nurse.
Nurse Clark to the bridge.
Yes.
Nurse.
Oh, dear.
So that is my captain command.
So you're sending Arhat, Jahan, and Lieutenant Mescal is who you're sending?
Yep.
Does the doctor want to send his
Absolutely.
All right.
Let me put my away shoes on.
Yeah, go suit up, gentlemen.
Not your
Maybe-
flip flops this time.
Yeah, you can't wear your Hawaiian shirt this time.
I
Sadly.
do feel like House would just look at you and be like, no, I'm not certified in zero gravity space. So
I do not know
Leadership.
medical things at this
Yeah.
time.
So
So the goal is what I want from this OA team is see if you can figure out obviously like the obvious, like what the heck happened, what's going on, are there people that need our help, and like if things get like hairy, like see if you can get engines running or something, and like a computer like logs and stuff.
okay.
Whatever
you
happened to
expecting
the old
tribbles?
days? Yeah. Whatever happened to the old days where the captain goes over? I mean, you know,
True. I'm selfish.
Well, this is a new Karen run
Oh no.
society.
you-
So.
So no, I don't give a flying flip about it.
Oh, I couldn't possibly put myself in danger.
I hope the
I'm
Drake
captain.
burns.
If you guys die, I need to be alive to run the ship. Duh.
That is true. Yeah, that's true.
So it will be, you'll have to have EVA suits because obviously there's no life support over there.
And definitely take weapons, obviously.
And even if there was even if there is life support that we can turn on, we still don't know if it's the right life support
Very true.
for us.
True.
Very, very true.
For humans, yeah.
Humans.
So the next question is how are you getting them over there?
Well, I guess it's more up to them. I would suggest beaming, but it's more what they're
Yeah.
comfortable with.
That's fine. Okay.
What happened
do
to the
get a
good
little
old
beat
days when
sick.
you would take the shuttle pod over?
Shuttle pod.
You get sick from beaming, is that what you said?
Beam sick, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
actually,
Andrew.
if you beam over, it's gonna be a D20, and it's gonna be difficulty 8.
Your outsides are going to be on your insides.
Oof.
Okay, so Andrew is going to roll sensors plus engineering for the ship, and Caleb is going to use Clark, and he's going to roll control engineering.
No.
Difficulty
Goodbye.
3. Difficulty 3.
Goodbye,
See?
crewmates.
Told you. Told you.
Engineering in what way?
Control engineering, and Andrew
Yeah.
is rolling sensors engineering for the ship. 1d20.
Oh, I'm rolling this for Isaac.
Isaac, yep.
I had to reroll because
Yes.
it was cockeyed, but
Okay.
I got one success.
Very nice.
Oh. I got 1 success.
1 success.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing, Will?
Well, he needed 3 successes.
Oh. You shouldn't have taken that shot at the creature
Did you
before
s-
you left.
Did you say that before I rolled? I don't remember hearing that.
No, I didn't either.
Well, you needed 30. It's difficulty 3. So you
Oh,
the ship got 1 and you got 1, so you needed another one.
okay.
So one person didn't make the beam. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, no, let's not get
No, I'm
crazy.
not going to do that.
Let's not get crazy.
The beam.
because I have a focus in composure.
Okay.
So does that give me an extra roll, or does that do anything for me?
Was any of your numbers in your number of engineering or less?
No.
No.
Can I
Hmm.
assist?
What about machine operations?
I will let you, if you can get over there and roll control engineering, I'll let you go over there and push the machine and then delay it so you can walk back onto the pad.
Okay.
Try to help out Nurse Clark here. All right, what do I roll? 2?
Yeah, 2d20.
For
Or,
control
wait,
engineering.
you're
you said?
assisting. I think it's 1d20.
Yeah.
For control and engineering. All right.
Control engineering.
I have a 16 in that, so let's see what we got here. I have rolled a 16.
Okay.
Nice.
Success. Okay, so
Job, team.
so Clark pushes up on the things for the go and it goes zoom, 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 zoom. Nothing happens. He rolls it back down. Our Jahan comes over. That's what he does. And he pushes a couple buttons to delay the beam, like the transport, to give it a couple seconds. He presses it over. He pushes the controls back up. He walks back to the pad.
You know, I was just about to try that.
Maybe do it
Yeah.
next time instead of trying.
Oh.
Oh, I sure hope when I go to beam you back, I get the right.
And just as you
signals.
say right, everything. And Arhat, Jahan, and Nurse Mescal all appear on what room did you guys pick?
Uh-oh.
No. Scattered.
I would say the bridge.
I was saying, I was thinking bridge would probably be the best place to start to get
That's fine.
information.
Okay. Well, Arhat takes point since he's the high ranking officer, so he decides bridge. So you materialize on the bridge, and it is a 2-person seated, like a 2-person controlled area, and there's a bank of computers on the edges of the wall, and then there's a door behind where the chairs are facing that clearly goes back into the rest of the ship. It's pretty sparse. There's not a lot of doodads and fanciness. It's pretty much just buttons and switches and small monitors. There's not a lot of like robust technology here. So, but looking at it, Jahan kind of just glancing at it can tell that if he's able to restore power, he can, inside of his mind, he can see that he'll be able to bring engines and computer systems back online, which in turn will facilitate life support by bringing things back online.
Commander, I think if we find the engine room, I might be able to work some magic, get life support turned on.
But while we're here, just take a quick look, see if you can access any computer panels that, is there anything running here? If not, then we'll work our way back. I'm going to have the nurse just do some scans just to see if there's any life forms or any residue that we need to keep to watch out for.
All right, I can run some scans up here.
Okay, let's have Jahan will roll an engineering insight difficulty 1 roll, and I'll have Mescal roll a medical insight roll.
I have 2 successes.
6 and
14. I have 1 success. So it was a difficulty one was mine. So what Jahan learns is that effectively all of the monitors and computers and all the stuff up here is dead. There's no way to short of like hooking up some sort of battery supply to something here, there's no way for him to turn anything on.
Yep.
And Mescal's readings show that there's no life signs on the ship.
Okay. And nothing, no residue, nothing we need to worry about.
No marks, no like weird melted, burned people, bodies, nothing like that.
Okay, so since we can't do anything here, we're gonna head. We're gonna go with Jahan to engineering, see if he can get it up and running. While as long as engineering is secure, then I'm gonna go with the nurse into cargo hold just to see if there's anything there worth checking out.
So you're sending Jahan.
We're all gonna go down to engineering, make sure that he's okay with engineering. And because there's a cargo hold right next to engineering,
yep,
I'm gonna be in there, or we're gonna be in there while Jahan is in engineering. And we're gonna just check out that cargo hold. If there's nothing there, we'll move up and do the other 2 cargo holds. And after that, we'll check out whatever's left of the ship just to make sure there's nothing else going on.
Okay, so you're basically going to go down the corridor from the bridge to go into this corridor that leads to the mess hall and the engineering, and then go into the engineering area. And the 3 of you are going to go to engineering, and as long as it's quiet and friendly, then you and the nurse are going to break off into the cargo hold next to engineering.
Right.
Okay.
Who's wearing a red shirt?
Jahan.
Yeah.
Not your average red shirt.
That's right.
It's red. What do you call it? Red accent.
This is before red shirts were bad, right?
Technically, yeah.
You hear that? Technically, yeah.
Technically, it's always bad. So
made it out of a situation before.
That's true.
Yeah, when your own captain was trying to kill you.
I know. I'm so sorry. Oh God.
So you work.
John, do you read me? How is your secret mission going?
Are they on to you?
I'm so sorry. I don't know
Do they know you're still a part of the Drake and you're infiltrating their system? That would be bad if they knew that.
Oh, gosh.
So
Anyway,
you make your way
Adrian.
down the corridor, down the 2 corridors, and you go into engineering. So when you go through the corridor, it's just a series of doors that are closed. There's nothing really that remarkable about them. They're just sealed. They're just closed doors. I shouldn't say sealed doors. They're closed doors to the living quarters, to sick bay. And then when you the cargo hold ahead and the other corridor to your right, you go into that. Down the end of this second corridor is the doorway into the mess hall. And then you can see the engineering door, which is open. It is not closed.
What happened? John went off on his own to engineering?
No, all 3 of them are walking. I'm just showing you what.
Oh, okay.
Just telling you what it looks like.
Pretty convenient. The engineering door is open, eh, Commander?
Yes and no. That usually indicates that someone came out of there either in a hurry or could possibly still be in there.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Oh my god. So you proceed down the corridor and you go into the engine room. Now the engine room is basically close to what Enterprise engine rooms looks like, where you have a bank of computers on the when you looking at the doorway to your left is a bank of computers. Across the way is the door for the other cargo, and to your right is this very cylindrical kind of, it's basically like the Enterprise kind of oval cylindrical engine, but it's nowhere near the size. It's very small. It's probably the size of a car. It's very, very small.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
sorry.
All right.
So-
So,
Yep.
I'm gonna go over and check out the computers.
So you walk over and you can kind of see where like a master like power board would be, where you'd like flip this like thing. It's kind of a hard kind of lever.
Gonna
And
flip it.
okay, you
See if
flip
there's
it.
power.
And there's a couple there's like a quick kind of like light up of everything in the room. It's like really nice and well lit for just like half of a second, and then everything goes back off, and there's a couple monitors and a couple like stations and like keyboards that have like little lights on them, like they're powered.
All right, Commander, I assume you brought the hammer. I'm gonna go check out the engine real quick.
Okay.
I am checking out that engine.
So the engine is what you would classify as a warp 1 or barely warp 1 engine, and it is very reminiscent to what the Earth people had when they first were exploring space, when they first met the Vulcans. It's very, very rudimentary. It's very simple. It gets the job done, but it's not really complex. And pushing it even to like warp 1.5 would be probably an impossibility for this thing. It is not online, but you can see that it has power to it. So in order to restore, to basically turn the engines on, turn the computers on, like full access, you would roll an engineering control difficulty 3. That's what you would do.
In other words, take a screwdriver and try to arc it and start it with the starter.
All right, so do we have momentum or anything I can?
Yes, we have 5.
Oh, yeah, I should probably use one of those then. Can Tharhat help out with this, or is that out of his purview?
Yeah, that's up to Mike.
Oh,
I'm able to help out if you want me to. I'm not real strong in the computer aspect.
well, that's all right. You'll take your hammer, get over the computers. We'll try this thing together.
Okay.
She's a classic. She needs a little boost. All right, so I am rolling engineering and control, you said?
Engineering control, yep.
Want me to roll engineering control 1 dice?
You would probably roll command presence.
Command presence? Okay.
Yep.
Nope, didn't make it.
Okay.
3 successes.
Well, there you go.
That works.
So Arhat starts to point to a system that he thinks you should start with, but by the time he even starts to indicate what thing to do, you've already got the system on.
I was just kidding about the hammer, Commander. I brought mine with me.
So bringing everything back on, now everything's up. everything Jahan can see that the ship is powered now. There is no, like, if you went back to the bridge, those computers are probably working. If you went to other parts of the ship, other things are working. It's not as scary and gloomy in here. The lights are on, things are nice. It's not as spooky and cold. Life support is coming online. It'll take a little bit for it to filter all of the zero atmosphere in here, but it is working. It's slow, but it is working.
Yeah, cold. I wasn't worried about cold, except for the nurse.
True. So, who do you want the nurse to roll a science reason roll, or do you want somebody else want to roll? It's difficulty 1.
I wouldn't.
What's it for?
It's something that is being caught on tricorders or hand scanners.
If anything, I would be having the nurse just doing some basic scans while we were working on the computer. So we can have the nurse do it.
Okay. Okay. 10.
I wouldn't trust the nurse.
Well, too bad.
That's why I sent him.
Okay, so I got 1 success, which is good because that's what I needed. So the nurse sees on the tricorder that there is a weird outlined kind of area that has like it's like a cabinet type recessed compartment. Would you like to activate the compartment?
Just in the engine room?
It's in the engine room.
Might as well.
The nurse can't tell you what it is because it's like shielded, so they can't read deeper than it being like a powered compartment. That's really all he can say.
Might as well open this while we still got our suits on there.
Yep.
Okay, so he presses the thing, and in this unit, this compartment starts to open, and it's shielded. And inside the compartment, shielded, is a tall, human-like alien.
Excellent.
Yay.
Mr. Nurse couldn't pick up on any life signs.
Shielded.
It's shielded, so he can't see
Very good.
inside the compartment. He
Very
can't
good.
read. The tricorder can't read.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just didn't listen to.
Yeah, it didn't listen. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no problem.
Too late to unpush this button, huh?
Yeah. He just closes it. No, I didn't see it.
Is there any movement from our new little friend?
You can see that the what you believe is a man is breathing. You can see his chest rising and falling.
Okay. I'd have the nurse do a scan, see if can figure out anything about this.
So
situation.
because it's shielded, the nurse is going to have to do a professional exam with just his eyes, essentially, because he can't penetrate the shield. Okay. Difficulty 2. Let's see what I got. Nice, 2 successes. Okay, so he's 7'5". He's 7'5". He's dark skinned, and from what he can tell, looking at his arms and his parts of his face, he believes that this individual is malnourished.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Is
Or
it?
are we?
I would say, is Jahan able to tell whether or not this was like a stasis pod that he's in, or is it just a place where he went to hide because he didn't have enough food?
Let's have Jahan roll an engineering insight, difficulty 1.
He's as tall as I am.
That's 7'5".
2 successes.
Okay, so 1 momentum back. Jahan can put together that this is probably like a stasis unit. It's a unit that he probably either was placed into or he got into, and its purpose is to preserve an individual. You can tell that it's a bed. It's not like he jury-rigged some weird thing and there's like shields on it in this weird like cabinet compartment thing. It's clearly like a place for somebody to go into.
Did I not say cryostasis?
Can we tell if there's any more on the ship, or if this is just the one?
Oh, use like this energy signature and see if there's more of these on the ship.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just naturally tell you. You kind of do. Jahan does like a kind of a broad spectrum kind of looking, and also perhaps maybe uses the computer. Do you want to do that, or just want him to scan with his hand scanner?
Honestly, if we can get a hold of the computer could probably tell us more information about what's going on.
Okay, so walk over to the computer.
Because if we can find some logs, this would tell us whether or not we want to take him out of stasis.
So basically, you don't see that these any like looking at the power layout of the ship, just kind of seeing where power is running to on the ship. There's no more of like, so you can see the compartment on the engineering like schematics. You can see where the power is going to this, and you don't see that type of like current or that type of connection on a different part of the ship. I mean, there might be another compartment, maybe in living quarters or on the bridge, but you don't see it active. You don't see it like turned on like it's like this one is. There's no power going to a different one on the ship.
So basically, we're looking at this one person. That's it on the ship that we, as of right now.
That's what it seems like.
Are there any logs to indicate friendly? Any information that we can gather about him before we wake him up?
So basically, Jahan looking at these things, it's all in an alien language.
I figured.
So anything that's not like self-explanatory, like he can tell that this is the ship and this is like the power diagram. But other than that, anything that's like click this thing, poke this thing, open this thing, he doesn't know the difference between turning life support off, closing doors. He doesn't know.
I mean, I am in communications as well. Am I able to
True.
do anything there?
Yeah.
Perhaps
So-
I can connect our ship's computers to this to try to get some sort of a
Okay.
translation going.
So you're going to open your communicator and go and talk to the Drake.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jahan reaches out to the Drake. Who takes his call?
I do.
Okay.
Say yes, Commander,
Captain.
Lieutenant.
We have found someone in what you might call cryostasis.
Excellent. Didn't I say that? Excellent.
You did. You said that exact thing.
Good. Yeah.
We're actually he's shielded. We're not able to. I don't want to poke around and end
Find
this
out.
poor being's life. So perhaps you could connect me to To Ensign Clark, and we'll see if I can get a translation going for
All
these
right.
computers.
I'll patch you in. And then I hit my button on my chair and I say, Clark, get back up here.
So, just as the doors to the turbo lift open to the bridge and Clark is about to step off onto the bridge and say anything to the captain, the vessel that Arhat, Jahan, and Lieutenant Mescal are on, shields activate, and it engages in warp.
Of course it does.
Nice.
I kind of had that feeling.
Yeah.
Will,
Yeah.
you really just burned me up. You know that? I looked into
Well.
everything.
Yeah. Typical Karen response right there.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, keep
What are you gonna
talking,
do?
Logan.
He's gonna lock you in the brig.
There's no managers in space, Karen.
Commander Starhat, did you hit anything on the computers here?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, me either. Where's the nurse?
The nurse is
Uh-oh.
standing right next to Arhat and hasn't
Yep.
done anything
Right,
either.
right here next to me, not doing anything, but trying to figure out what's going on, just like we are.
I think we might have a situation, Commander.
My guess is turning on the
Can
power
communication go
initiated
through the shields?
program.
Yes, but not as much as Jahan wanted.
All right. Am I able to stop any of this?
So,
Like
You-
cut off warp, perhaps?
in theory, you could, but you don't know. You don't know what would be what.
Well, there is the basic thing of turn off the big power switch.
So you could do that. That is a possibility, but there's a high likelihood that you could perhaps cause a warp core detonation.
Breach.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know if our
Dude.
friend would appreciate us turning the power off while his bay is open.
Okay, so we're gonna let those guys hurtle through space. What is the Drake doing?
Trying to figure out what the flip just happened to her crew. Oh my
I looked
god.
to you and I looked to the captain and I said, should we follow?
Yeah, where? Yeah, uh-huh. Where trace their signatures, like where are they heading?
Okay. So let's see. Andrew, let's have Andrew roll science and sensors, and then we'll have Eric, if you want to roll for your Lozash, you can have him roll con reason. Difficulty
Okay.
1.
Didn't get it.
Okay.
I needed a 10 and I got a 12.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a difficulty 1.
So I rolled a 6. I needed 18.
Okay, cool. So Lozash, no help to the sensors because it wasn't it's hard to catch that warp signature because it's so old. There's not like a really strong warp signature, but Lozash is able to use enough reasoning ability that he can kind of basically guess he can tell what direction they're going. He can make an educated guess of to catch up with them.
Okay.
So you engage, Captain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Drake follows the unidentified vessel. You catch up with it pretty quickly because at warp 1 you'll start to overtake it.
Okay. So let me hail Jahan again. Can we reach him? Or no?
Yeah, I gotta have you.
Hello.
Yeah, he's just gotta have you.
He's having a
That ball's
pizza.
up and running.
Well, this is a fine mess.
Captain, I think we're moving.
Oh, dear.
Oh man. So
Well, there's
let's-
no inertial dampers on this thing, so obviously they must feel everything.
Yeah.
So let's have Adri roll for the ship, communications engineering, and we'll have Clark roll control engineering. This is going to be a difficulty 4.
Oh my God.
Can I help from my end?
You can try to roll. All right, Mike, you
Yes.
are trying to roll an 8, a singular with 1 die, an 8, and Jahan, you're gonna roll also control engineering. Yours is going to be a difficulty 2.
I rolled a 3.
Okay. Excellent.
What was I rolling, Will? Control and
engineering.
engineering.
I got 2 successes.
Okay. So it's open up on their end.
So I got a 0.
Okay.
So I needed 13. I got a 15 and
You need 4 13s.
oh, I had a difficulty 4. I thought it was all together. Okay. Well, I rolled a 13, so I got 2 successes.
Okay. So the answer is no.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Hello?
Have fun out in space.
So Jahan and Arhat can see that what he's able to piece together, he can turn on the comms. He got that to kind of work out. He figured that out on the fly, but he's not getting anything from the Drake. Now, from the Drake's end of it, you can't establish comms. You can't even connect the ship.
Okay. Okay, that's it.
Yep, they're gone.
Well,
Shore leave. Shore leave.
Wow.
So basically, what's happening right now, it's like the movie Speed, except it's like at 5 miles an hour warp terms. It's like dun 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 dun.
Okay. So we'll keep pace with them
Yep.
so that if they can beam back aboard, they can do that.
Nope.
Nope. We're in warp.
Well, it's not that. It's the
Well,
fact
send the
that
nurse first.
they have the shields are up.
Right.
Well,
If I've learned anything from Strange New Worlds, is that you can do whatever you want.
yeah. I mean, if they
The
figure out-
engineer will just say, no, we can't do that. That's not scientifically possible. And Pike will just say, yeah, just do it. Just go ahead and do it. And then they'll do it.
figure out how to do it.
So
The question-
new scene.
I was gonna say, the question we have to figure out now is, because the 3 of us are kind of stranded on the ship, do we wake him up or do we try and do something ourselves?
Okay, that's where we're at. It's a new scene, Andrew. So take away a momentum.
No.
Wow. Gonna wake him up.
So
Yeah. Shake him
Is
for
this a
answers.
is this a wise choice?
And I never said we're gonna wake him up. It's that our choices are we wake him up or we try and do something ourselves.
Are
He
we-
might spit
Yeah,
on
wake
you
him up.
and your arm will dissolve. You never know.
I would wake him up and shake him and just like, stop the ship. Stop the ship.
So Jahan, you wanted to see if you could figure this out, right? Because you're a translator.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we were attempting to do earlier before, the ship went
Come
into
on, man.
AWOL mode.
Because we also don't know exactly how to wake him up safely.
It
So
doesn't
it'd be a
matter.
good
Just
idea to figure things out on our own. Where can we wake him up safely?
do you have a phaser?
He does everything.
Put it against his head and wake him up.
He's
You can't
shielded,
reach him. He's in a shielded compartment.
Yeah.
and the hammer isn't doing anything.
No. So let's have John roll a science insight, difficulty 4.
We still have 4.
I'm sorry, difficulty 4.
Yes,
Mm.
correct. 4.
Yep.
Am I able to help out in any way?
So here's some things.
Yeah,
I have emergency response as a focus.
true.
I don't know what that
Ye-
means, but this seems like an emergency.
I'll let it be. It's usually like emergency response to fixing things, but you're an emergency responding. So you're just using a different skill set. So
Uh-huh.
emergency translating, basically.
Okay,
I'll allow that to be.
cool.
So if
Here
you
it
want to take momentum, spend momentum, you can buy more dice.
Yeah.
How many dice do you want to buy?
So 1
How much money
momentum
we
for
got?
1 dice, 3 momentum for
Huh?
2 dice.
We have 4 momentum right now.
How important is this? Should I spend all of our hard-earned momentum?
I mean, it's useful because if you translate their language, you can talk to the alien.
All right, let's buy 2 then. Huh?
There's also the fact that if you translate the language, you can stop the ship.
All right, so fairly important. All right, I'm rolling 4. We need 4, and I got a bigger window for double wins.
No whammy.
I got some bad news. 20,
20.
Insight and science, it's only a 13. I got 2 successes. One of them's a 3,
Okay.
which gives me a double, but
3.
I only got 3 successes then total.
Do you have any reroll abilities?
Can the nurse help?
You could have the nurse assist you.
Okay.
Well, how would I explain it? Okay, we'll have the nurse. We'll explain it this way. The nurse looks at the clothing that the alien in the compartment is, and thinks that using the symbols on the person's clothing to like connect the two things.
All right. So what does that grant us? The nurse has to roll.
I'm
A
gonna
D- or
roll.
a D20?
I'm just explaining why
Okay.
the nurse can roll.
All right, I was just making sure I didn't have to do anything.
No, you're okay. So I'm gonna have to see if I can roll a 10. I rolled a 6.
This nurse is very competent.
So
She's trying to wake him from his slumber. I mean, come on.
So Nurse Mescal points out, you're kind of grasping it, but the universal translator is honestly having a really hard time with this language. It's really hard to break down, and you're kind of having a hard time getting it. And the Nurse Mescal he's able to like bring over, like show you, like from his imaging, from his hand scanner. He can like basically took pictures with his hand scanner to show you some symbols and some identification things, or at least something that you assume is identification on the alien inside the compartment. And you're able to kind of put the two things together, that perhaps this is an engineer in the compartment. So therefore you're kind of able to connect the dots with the computer. Now, even though you got successes and you did not fail, it is the universal translator and yourself, you're having a hard time just breaking down. It's not fluid. It's very much like word, I don't understand the rest, word, I don't understand, word.
All right. Would that be enough to I don't know, drop shields, or probably not drop shields, but stop warp?
At this point, all you can decipher is that the ship you can see that the warp, like you can see the warp controls, and really all you can decipher is that the ship is heading towards an asteroid field.
Great.
And that the navigation controls are locked.
I have gained information, and it is not good information. Come here.
All right,
I'm not
let me- Mr.
What's the situation?
Well, it seems we're heading straight for an asteroid field, and the controls are locked.
Are you able to wake him? Because right now that's probably our only option.
Let me look at the pod closer. Can I do that?
You feel like you could interact with this thing, and if he is truly malnourished and he is okay, like there is the chance that you could wake him up. Doesn't seem like it's impossible.
All right. We're gonna give it a go, Commander.
Okay. You don't really have to do too much. You just kind of have to like smack the ship. Like there's really not much to really do. There's nothing to really interact with him. You know?
So I take the hammer, and I actually do have a hammer. I pull it out of my suit.
You take
And
like
I-
a engineering tool and
Yeah,
bang
and I
a-
smack
a
on
spanner. Yeah, nice. So this alien comes to. He opens his eyes, and again he's very human looking. He's not like weird and crazy looking. And Jahan has the universal translator on, and really all he gets is he can
Excuse
get
me.
3 things out of the guy. The universal translator can pick up 3 different things from this individual, and it is the words Vusa, engineer, and trapped. He's talking. Those are the only words coming through the universal translator.
Fusa, engineer, trapped.
Yep. Yeah, he's talking. He's saying a lot of words, but those are the only words that are coming through that are English.
What is
Or
Vusa?
Andorian if you want to get super technical, but it's basically that's what's happening.
What is Vusa?
I'm thinking it might be his race, Commander.
That's possible. I was wondering if that was his name.
Or that. Either way, Elvusa here is trapped. He is the engineer. If we get him out of here, he could stop us from plummeting into our doom.
Is there any way you can turn off the shield to his compartment?
So you can tell, you don't know how to turn it off on the outside, but you can tell on the inside there's a way to turn it off because otherwise he couldn't get out.
Okay, there is a way, but if he's trapped, he may not be able to get out of there. Can you get out? I shout at the pod.
He looks
American way.
confused. He looks confused at you, but he kind of, you know, are you pointing at the thing that he can see? Or
I am now.
okay. He says, okay. He nods and he reaches and he turns it in the shielded compartment. The shield turns off. He doesn't move though. He just lays there.
So he's exposed now,
he's exposed to the room. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to take a step back, but I'm going to use my talent of constantly watching.
Okay.
Make sure he doesn't do anything to
Okay.
hurt my crewmates.
Yeah.
It would be best for Jahan to point, and it's like, we have an issue. We're heading toward a
All right.
asteroid field.
So I'll point over at the computers and I say, asteroids, warp into asteroids.
Oh dear.
So he just turns his head because he's laying down, and he looks at the computers, and you see his expression change from just tired and concerned to not like he's very surprised. You're gonna roll? You're rolling our hat is what you're doing,
I can roll.
or you just wanted to watch?
I just took a step back just to see what his reaction was.
Oh, okay. He didn't react to it. He just was laying there. So Mescal, now seeing him, can make a much more educated guess and also scan. So you want Mescal to scan him?
Yes.
All right.
That'll also tell us if there's an issue with him, why he's not getting up.
Okay. Two 11s.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
12. Nice. I did it. 2 successes. So I only needed 1, Andrew. So you get 1 momentum.
We're taking this nurse everywhere with us from now on.
So,
So much better than the doctor.
yeah. So, the nurse, he can report that he is actually suffering from malnutrition. And he reports now, I mean, you all can see too. So it's a dark-skinned humanoid with a really thick beard, tight curly hair, and they're wearing a very colorful kind of like a jumper, kind of like very very tribal-esque, like robes, like a garb type of thing. But it's kind of like those funny parachute kind of one-piece suits that we kind of wear in today's society. Like funny people kind of wear them. And they dance in them and stuff like that. And they have like the cloth goes from like the arm to like the legs kind of thing. So the nurse Mescal reports back that like they can obviously help us. They seem helpful, but you know, it's gonna be hard for them to really like walk around. You know, they're basically going to be tied to this like area, like leaving the engineering, perhaps even leaving the bedded area where they are would maybe they may be too weak to move around.
All right. Are we able to carry this fellow over to the controls?
You absolutely can. Yep, you could help hoist him over to it.
All right, Commander, we're probably going to need your manly strength.
Okay. If he's malnourished, I think I have a
We have any field rations?
a field ration
Oh, okay.
Alright.
that I can probably give him.
The mess hall's also open. There's space pizza. I just had some.
We can get him space pizza, but if I have an emergency ration, let's hand him the emergency ration and hope that he accepts food and he can help us stop the ship.
Okay. So I'll do the nice thing for you guys that Mescal agrees that the field ration will not harm him. And you give him that, and he very slowly, but very appreciatively eats it. And once he
He turns
finishes
to gel.
once he finishes eating that, you guys are going to help him walk over to the controls.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So who wants to do the main hoisting and who wants to do the assisting?
I will do the main hoisting because I need Jahan to work the computers, and I want the nurse hands-free for the most part,
Oh,
but
okay.
helping me just in case something happens to him.
Okay, so you want to hoist him by yourself, or you want to have an assistant hoist him?
The nurse will be helping me,
Okay. Yep.
but I will be taking the brunt of it. So if something happens, the nurse is able to stop helping and help him.
Okay. So you, Mike, are going to roll fitness. Fitness con.
Fitness con. Okay. Need an 11. 2 dice.
2 dice.
10 and 18.
All right, I need an 11. It's just a difficulty 1. It's not too difficulty. So the nurse didn't make it. What did you get?
I had a 10 and an 18. I needed an 11.
Okay, so you did it with 1 success. Okay, so
Yeah.
you alone are able to help him to his feet and very slowly walk him, not that far across. Like it's not a huge compartment.
Right.
And walk him over to the controls. So he looks down and he kind of indicates to Jahan, like, okay, he kind of understands what's going on. He thinks he can kind of work with you. He kind of does like a motion, like he does like a back and forth kind of like you and I type of motion, and then kind of points at the computer. Okay, so it is everyone's favorite thing, an extended task.
Boy.
Phenomenal.
So it's engineering daring. That's what you're going to be rolling your 2d20s with. Assisted by the alien. It's a work track of 11. A magnitude of 2 and a resistance of 1. It's difficulty 3.
3.
Yep.
How am I
But
supposed
every
to?
time you succeed, it'll knock down the difficulty. Next time you go to do it.
So
You should have the nurse do it.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna need something here. I only have 2
Can the
D20.
alien help you?
Do we have 1 momentum?
We have 1 momentum. That's all we have.
All right, I guess I'll spend that to buy a thing.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I need a 14 for the.
So the alien's rolling 2.
Gotcha. Nailed it. 3 successes.
He didn't get it.
Typical.
So, okay, so you got 3 successes?
Yep.
Awesome. So roll whatever your engineering number plus 2.
All right. So
D6s.
So my engineering number plus 2 D6s. Okay. So I have an engineering of 5.
So you're gonna roll 7 D6s.
Okay.
You
I
want
hope-
five successes at least so you can drop the difficulty.
So let's see. I got so I'm using the Star Trek dice. I have 3 whatever those things are, like the 3
Explosions.
3 explosions, and then I have the symbol. The insignia.
Okay, so do you have double explosions on one or just single explosions?
So double explosions on 1, single on 1.
And the thing. So the
And
so
then-
the singular explosion is a 1.
Okay.
Double explosion is 2.
Okay.
And the Star Trek symbol is a 1 plus effect.
Okay.
And
So I
you're-
still have to roll
Okay.
2 more of those, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, 4. How many do I roll? 7?
7.
7.
Well,
so I
yeah,
gotta
if you roll, yeah, whatever you.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, so I got a double explosion. That's it.
Double exposure, so that's 6. And
Alright.
I'm allowing you to use the effect of scrutinize because you're like really intensely looking at this. So you activated that with the Star Trek symbol, the delta,
Yep.
and that allows you to ignore resistance for each of those rolled. So you rolled one of those. So the resistance is 1, so therefore the resistance is 0, and you actually rolled a 6 instead of a 5. So it's 11 minus 6, which is now 5 left on that work track.
And he got 5 or more in one roll, so therefore the difficulty decreases by 1.
Okay.
So
Very
now
good.
it's engineering daring again, difficulty 2. And the alien's gonna roll again.
Okay.
Which is good because we don't have any momentum to use.
Yeah, I used all of it for this situation. So I'm also rolling, right? With
Yep,
the
yep.
alien.
Yep, so the alien failed again.
I think he's doing it deliberately. All right, 2 successes for me.
Perfect. So now you'll do the same D6 again, or the same 7. dice
7,
again.
yeah.
He's delirious because of malnutrition.
Yeah.
That's true. Should have gave him the space pizza. All right. So I got 2 deltas and a double explosion.
Okay, so that is 2, so 4, and that will allow you to ignore 2, so you're down to 0 resistance.
Okay. And then 2 more deltas.
So 6. So you completely wipe that out. You have
Does the
completed
one
first
extra
work track.
damage go into the next track, or?
Yes.
Okay.
So now it's 10 on the other work track, and now your roll for the next one is difficulty 1.
Very good. All right.
That
here we
ain't
go.
gonna help.
No,
Let's see if we can help.
can we get the nurse back?
All right.
Nope, he has no
so
idea. He has no idea what he's doing.
1 success here.
Okay. Perfect. And then the same again.
Roll the 7 dice.
Let's see. We got 2 deltas, a double explosion, and a single explosion.
5. So you only need 5 more.
A delta and a double explosion.
So you need 2. You keep getting rid of that resistance, so that's good. So now we do the last final roll. It's a difficulty 0, so now you're just getting momentum.
And that's 2 successes.
Alien has no idea. He's never seen any of this before.
No help at all through the whole thing.
He's sleeping over there in the arms of the commander.
So how many did you get, John? How many successes?
I got 2 successes.
So there you go. You got 2 momentum back. Now you're gonna roll.
Yeah, 2 double explosions and a delta. So
Perfect.
Then
that'll do.
Yeah. So, with no help to the alien at all, other than him just standing next to you and kind of like softly groaning, you get full access to the computers, and then you use the computer to slowly bring the ship back to out of warp. But here's the beautiful thing, because I control the story. I'm the captain now. So no, when the ship drops out of warp, you are inside the asteroid field.
Great.
Perfect. So here comes the fun part.
Is this the 20 that was rolled earlier?
Yes. I am using that as my complication.
Is it around a planet or is this
Nope, it's just like it's kind of like ours. It's just kind of like out in a long belt.
I
Who
see.
rolled that complication?
That was all, Mike.
Howdy. Yeah. So
The nurse did.
we're gonna have let's see, who hasn't rolled in a minute on the other side.
Please do that, Mr. Silva.
Okay. So Andrew, you are going to roll con and engines for the ship, 1 dice,
Mhm.
and Lozesh is going to roll 2 d20s for con and reason, difficulty 2 for combined of you guys.
It was con and what?
Con
Reason.
and engines.
Engines. So I need a 9. No. The 16 is not a 9.
Nope. So con and reason for you, Eric. Difficulty 2. Mike,
Yeah.
you're gonna roll for the ship, for the alien vessel.
Okay.
You're gonna roll con and sensors, which is, I know you don't have that number. It is, you're gonna roll 1 singular d20, and you're gonna try to get an 8.
And get an 8 with 1.
Yep.
Difficulty
a-
2.
5.
Okay, 1 success over there.
Difficulty
now that
2
you're
for
back-
me, right?
Yeah, you
What
need
does that
2.
what does that mean?
Con and reason. So you need 2 of whatever your con plus reason, whatever that number is, you need 2 of those numbers.
Okay.
Or less. 2 of those numbers are lower. And John, you're gonna roll con and daring for your guy. And I can have the alien assist you, con and daring.
All right,
9.
2 of those, 2 d20.
Yes.
Okay, I got 9 and 2.
9 and 2. We'll say because you're the helmsman that you have some sort of focus in it. So that's okay. So we'll give him 2 successes on that.
Well, I needed 12 and I did it.
Oh, okay. So you have 3 successes? Because you had the other one wasn't okay.
How many successes did I need?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, I got 1.
Okay. And the alien's still rolling.
Yeah, he's still delirious.
Ha ha! Success.
I'll do it now when we're not flying. I mean, you know.
So we got 2 successes on our end, and you have enough on the other end. Yeah. Let's see. So it's
Do
gonna
we
be
have a
bumpy on the
tractor
other
beam?
end of it.
Do
All
we
right,
have a
you know what?
tractor beam?
I'll give Mike, I'll give you a chance to roll command presence. That's what you'll roll to assist, to try to see if you can get success. 1 singular d20.
Command presence. 1 d20. I got a 6.
Okay, so with that, our hat directs the alien and Jahan how to basically see the asteroids that are coming ahead and seeing the ones that are going to hit the ship. And what Lozesh does is with the Drake, he comes in and he starts to shoot he starts to blow up the asteroids that are in the path of the ship as it is trying to navigate. So basically, as this alien ship, warps into the thing and is now trying to get out of the asteroid field to a safe location, the Drake is kind of coming overhead and making a path for you guys to navigate out of the asteroid field. And with the low amount of thrusters, the ship is not the Drake. It's slow. So that's why the sensors, you guys are using the sensors to just basically not hit literally anything, because the ship can't really handle too much. Okay. So as you breach out of the asteroid field, and you're now on the outside. New scene, Andrew. Take away momentum if we have it. just, I mean, you couldn't ask for it. The universal translator finishes processing just as you escape the asteroid field. Perfect. So perfect. So the alien turns and he says, "Oh," he goes, "that was close."
Huh?
Sure was, buddy. Have you ever worked on this thing before?
Wow. He says, "Hey, I can understand you, and you can understand me."
Now
Yeah, that's the way this usually works. When it doesn't matter anymore, everything works out.
So he does a gesture, kind of like a this kind of gesture, and he says, "I am Vusa."
Ah,
And he says, "Who are you?"
I'm Commander Arhat.
Hmm.
This is Lieutenant Jahan.
Oh yeah, Lieutenant Mescal. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
He says, "Wow." He goes, "Well, I really appreciate you helping this in my ship, and myself. I really appreciate whatever that really bitter thing was. I think I've been in here for like almost 2 weeks."
What happened?
So we were running a test program on our vessel here. This is to be one of our first outer solar system exploratory vessel, to do more finer research of our solar system. But when we activated it on our base, on our orbital station, I was the preliminary engineer, basically setting things up. And right as I was going through tests to make sure that tomorrow morning, when the full staff goes aboard, everything was a-okay, because this is my creation. I helped put this engine together. I was making sure everything was a-okay. This weird thing happened on the computer that I don't know what this is. And it shut down everything on the computer, and it turned literally everything off. And I had just enough time to get into our bedding here for deep space exploration. That's what these things are for, but we didn't intend to use them. It was just in case we couldn't get back home in time. There's these things to keep us functioning if the ship goes offline.
Do you
That's
know?
what I did, is I leapt into this thing before anything before I died, because everything turned off.
Do you know where your planet is from where we are?
So he goes to the computer and he pushes some buttons, and he can see, but it would be right now, it's like where Earth and Vulcan would be. He's never his species is he indicates his species has never been this far. The farthest they've ever gone is like Mars in relation. So he's very far from home.
He needs to have a beagle.
seems we might need to give someone an intergalactic tow.
So he indicates too, to help you guys explain what happened. He was able to, from the inside of the capsule, push, because there's computer consoles inside the thing that he can interact with, and he was able to drop out of warp, but he couldn't get out of the compartment. He was trapped in the compartment
Because everything else was shut off.
Yeah.
So no breathing if he opens the door.
Right. Exactly. So that's why the ship was just floating and you couldn't see anything because the compartment was on, it was shielded. You couldn't detect him, but everything else was turned off.
Well, let's get him some food. Let's update the captain and go from there.
Get that man some space chips.
Very
And
good.
cheeseburgers.
Yum.
So let's have, so you guys beam him aboard, but before you guys do that, before everybody like gathers together, 4 to beam up. Let's have, who wants to look at who's closest to the computer, like who's standing close to us.
On the alien ship or the?
Yeah, on the
Drake?
alien ship. You haven't beamed back to the Drake yet.
I'm probably still at the computers.
Okay. So let's have you roll an engineering insight difficulty 2.
2 successes.
Okay, perfect. So when you're looking at the computer thing and you're accessing what possibly made this thing happen to the ship, you get to this part where you can see that there's like a malicious code, like a malicious computer virus, and you can tell that the language of it is Talarian.
Valerian.
So Talarian
What
is
is
Talarian. So that is the species of the captain that Lozesh kind of interacted with on the starbase. He's kind of like the guy that you guys suspected had with the bombing.
Okay. Yeah.
He's the species of the guy that you guys think had part to do with the bombing, but there's been no way to tie him to it yet.
Now this is suspicious because now this is the second time.
Correct.
Hmm.
That's what you see before 4 to beam up, unless you want to say something, unless you want to do something here before you get beamed up.
No.
Okay, so you 4 beam back and you treat him to a nice little kind of dinner. And he shows on the computer, on like the charts that the Drake has, he points to a planet that has not been visited by the Federation. And he tells you guys that it is called Macus 3.
Okay.
So do you guys basically want to feed him and tow his ship back to that planet, or what do you guys want to? What would you like to do with him and everything? Because we can just assume that you guys take him back, you feed him. Dr. House gives him a nice once over to make sure that he has no other extenuating issues, and then you can do what you want with him.
Yeah, I don't think we need to keep him, do we?
How good of a cook is he?
Ooh.
The information that Jahan got would be best to go to the captain. And it would be good to at least ask him if he had come in contact and basically show him what they look like.
Oh, okay.
Have you met this species before? Because right now we're under first contact.
Right.
So we're trying to make good impression and just gain a little bit of information from him. But if he doesn't want to say anything, it's first contact. So we got to be nice.
But on second contact, we kill.
That's right. You talk to him about the Talarian people, and you show him an image of a Talarian, and he is unfamiliar with them. He's never seen one. He doesn't know of reports of meeting them. They've only met a few other aliens. So seeing you guys isn't like crazy, but it also isn't it's like you're like number 3 on the list, so it's still kind of shocking.
So what happened like before the Tolarian like virus got on the ship? Like can we like see if there's any like similarities? I don't know. Like was there any kind of indicator that we could look for? Like in the computer systems?
Oh, on his ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, so without having you roll it, because everybody's done really well. So
Yeah.
I think what I'll just say that like looking at it, like having an away team go back or connecting the Drake's computer to it, you can see that there was a point when this code was downloaded to the system, but it doesn't seem like it seems like it was transmitted from somewhere else. It doesn't seem like somebody like put something like a USB thing or like a disk into it. It seems like somebody like Bluetooth kind of type of thing, like transmitted information to this vessel.
So how could somebody do that without like the right security codes and stuff? I don't know.
Well, with the how basic the technology is, Captain, it seems like someone more advanced might be able to just overtake that without any issues.
Gotcha. Okay.
So to go with Jahan's point, it wasn't that difficult for the Drake to connect computers to it.
Right. Okay.
No, I was just saying that the real question is like, why would they do that? Like, why would they care about?
To what end?
Right.
You don't know the greater question. You don't know the why.
Does seem odd, Captain, that it was right in our trajectory.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a coincidence at this point, does it?
Never is.
Oh dear. You guys ever think about just like going back to Earth and just like working at a vineyard and owning a vineyard for the rest of your life?
I could just work on trucks.
Yeah. and like meet like a lot of chicks.
That comes with the truck, you know?
Naturally.
Oh good. I don't know. Is there any way that we can like get this nice gentleman's contact information so that if we ever have anything, any kind of questions, we know?
Well,
how
you
to
know where
reach
his
out to him?
homeworld is.
Okay. All right. Well, then I would say, my good sir, you are, please leave the vicinity. Please get out of my sight.
Are we
No.
able to hook up his ship, give him a tow, and get him home much faster?
Yes. Yes. Otherwise, it's going to take him like years to get back home.
Yeah.
What's he think about this ship is what I'm interested in.
He's pretty. I mean, he's pretty impressed by it. You can tell because he's kind of like the inventor of his vessel, so he's really taking interest and note of things. You can tell that anything that like is a power conduit, if you let him into the engineering area, like he's obviously going to look at that. But anything that you're allowing him to see, he's very fascinated by it.
Well, I'm not gonna allow him to see much. Just what he's.
That's fine. It's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll tell him. Did we ever get we got his name right? What was it? I can't remember.
Vusa.
Vusa?
Vusa. Vusa. Vusa.
Vusa. Okay. So we'll say, Mr. Vusa, we'll get you a ride home a little faster than what it would take you. So
I would greatly appreciate that, he says.
Yes, sure you would. It's been a pleasure. Get back to your ship, please. And how long? What's our estimated time of arrival?
A few hours.
Okay, you'll be home in a few hours.
Thank you.
You're
So he
so
informs you that he is from the Zambian race. That's what he informs you.
Zambian race.
Yeah.
We are of the human race.
Thank you.
You are so welcome.
And I look over and I go, I'm not.
Are we going to make contact with the planet when we get there? Because we are technically making first contact with this person.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we should.
Just slingshot him onto this.
Get lost.
At least stop in, say hi, and
Introduce ourselves.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you did it. You did the thing I was going to ask you. So a few hours go by. He returns back to the vessel. And as you enter the solar system of Zambia, you are intercepted, not in an aggressive manner, but you are approached by 3 pre-warp ships. They do not have warp capability. And you can begin officially starting first contact procedures.
Hmm.
Very nice.
And Vusu directs you to the head of Zambia, Chandu.
Cute.
Beautiful. And with that, look at that. You completed episode 4.
Did we really?
Yep.
That was a nice tight episode there.
Yeah.
How did we do that?
I didn't make it super long. I just made it kind of a self-contained thing.
Wow.
Felt like an episode of TV show, you know?
And we
That's
didn't
good.
Yeah.
Wow.
and we
Good
didn't
job,
we
us.
didn't spend hours going over minute detail.
Well, yeah, I feel like that was like good story writing on Will's part and good playing on our part. So
Yeah.
good job, team.
Yeah.
You've also
Nice.
helped, even though the alien didn't help, we actually got some of the roles and progressed.
True.
Very true.
Huh. Well, fun.
So next time we will crack into the milestones, since that was an episode, and I believe, oh gosh, 2 people had something. Okay, so next time, well, you'll get to do something, Mike, and then we'll go through and like button all this up and do milestone stuff. Get into all that.
Because I have some values that I think that might apply. I don't know how any of that stuff works, but
Yeah, basically, when you were in a situation, you would have said, "Hey, I want to use one of my quotes to give me a D20 that is like pre-rolled at 1, essentially."
oh, I didn't even look at those until just now, so
That's okay.
probably could have used them.
Probably.
Yeah.
So it's like a hey,
Yeah,
if my value of my quote applies to the situation, I can use it to buy a already like guaranteed
I see.
number
I
when
see.
we roll critical success.
I don't know.
I wrote used next to the value that I used.
Okay, so the other bit of information that I'll give you at the end is there are 13 individuals up for investigation on the Drake. Okay, you have one other civilian, and then 12 science officers.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's not like I'm just saying these are people that you would in the future anybody who's working with the security. There are 13 individuals that you have the potential of looking into if you choose to.
Imprison every single one of them.
Thank you.
Because I already tormented all of my security officers.
Exactly. So he knows that his security guys are clear. So now he only has the science guys left.
Very good.
So yeah, so next time we get together for this, we'll be showing it'll be the recap of episode 4. We'll get into the milestone stuff, so we can go through and go through all that. We won't worry about that tonight. And then we'll start episode 5.
Okay.
Echoes of the Past.
Yay.
Yay.
Good job, friends. Our
Thank you.
3 viewers are going to be so excited that we got through one episode in one show.
Who's going to be happy? What'd you say?
Our 3 viewers,
You know it.
whoever they may be. All right, guys.
All right.
Okay, yeah. So
All right.
thanks for
See
sticking
ya.
We'll see
it
ya.
out, and we'll see
Thank
ya.
you, by the way, Caleb. You're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
a bang.